Welcome. Today we're going to be looking at time, energy, and the stored past. This is a guided meditation which will help you to feel the movement of time in a new way and help you to understand why we hold on to the past and how we can let go of it. As always, we're going to begin with a grounding meditation. Grounding meditation really means that we are going to connect to ourselves in all the ways we can. We're going to put ourselves in a good position to listen and feel and to follow along to my instructions and to hear the ideas, to feel the ideas through our direct experience, to come to know these teachings for ourselves. So I always start with taking a deeper breath. And as I do, I sink into the weight of my body. One of the properties of my body is that I'm physical, that I can feel myself as heavy. And as I relax into this weight, gravity pulls me down into the ground. I can also feel myself as a flow of energy. My nervous system is always circulating energy, so I can tune into the ever-changing field of sensations throughout my body. I can shift my focus from my weight to the flow of my sensations. And part of this flow of energy is my emotional world. So I shift my focus again. I see how I feel emotionally. And part of the flow of my energy, of my nervous system, is my mental world. So I check in with my thoughts, any mental images I have, and the unformed flow of subtle mental energy. And the reason that I can feel all of this energy moving through me is that I'm aware. So I shift my focus from my thoughts, my feelings, and my sensations to the experience of being aware. I would describe awareness as an awake space. Everywhere you are having an experience, everywhere you feel yourself, there is awareness. And I can relax into this. So as we sit here together in silence, or while I'm speaking, while you're listening to me, time is passing by. And from the perspective of meditation, the reason that we know time is passing by is because we experience it. The experience of time passing by is movement. The reason that we know time is passing is because our sensations are changing, our emotions are changing, our thoughts are changing. The things that we see in our visual field may be moving. The things that we hear in our auditory field are moving. And all of this is passing through the space of our awareness. So if we take some moments to let time go by together, What we are witnessing is the movement of energy through our awareness. Of course, time is not something that you control. And neither is the movement of energy through your awareness. As we sit here, and notice that all of the things that are moving, thoughts, feelings, sensations, things that you see and hear, everything that's moving through your awareness right now happens on its own. Another way of saying that is if you don't try to have sensations, they happen anyways. If you don't try to have emotions, they happen anyways. If you don't try to have thoughts, they happen anyways. So again, we take some moments, we don't try to do anything at all, and yet time keeps passing by. Energy keeps moving. Thoughts, feelings, and sensations keep flowing through you. Now, over time as we do this, our experience becomes more fluid. When we are tracking movement, when we are feeling movement, we're inducing a softness, a fluidity into our experience. It's there already, but when we pay more attention to it, life feels more fluid. This may be happening to you now. This fluid movement is energy. This is what we mean, this is what I mean when I speak about energy. It's this fluid, felt sense quality to life. If you feel your body as a flow, as you feel your body as a flow, the substance of your body is less physical, it feels less physical, and it feels more fluid or energetic. And this happens not because we change the composition of our body, but because we bring more the fluid quality, the fluid perception of our nervous system into focus. So we're still sitting in our chair. There still is a mass and a substance to our body. But this other kind of focus, this focusing on the energy and movement of our body, becomes more and more prominent, more clear, more in focus, more perceptible. And this is wonderful. So as I sit still here in my body, as I sit still here in my chair, my body is in motion because my body is alive, because my body is energy. And the witnessing of this energy induces my connection to this movement. You could say it creates more movement. We don't control the flow of energy. We don't control the passage of time. All of this moves through awareness. Consciousness is a perfect, effortless system. Everything that happens is natural. Everything that happens is good. And the challenge that we have as human beings is as perfect and good and effortless as life is, it can be overwhelming. I would say it is inherently overwhelming to be alive. And so what do we do, or what does life do, when our bodies and our minds are overwhelmed by the flow of energy? life has a mechanism of contracting around the flow to restrict movement. So when I have an uncomfortable feeling, an overwhelming feeling, perhaps, through the course of my life, I can contract around it. And in contracting around it, I stop it from moving. I freeze life. Or you could say, I stop time. This is how we end up holding on to the past. We hold on to the past by restricting the movement of energy through our body, through our nervous system, and through our awareness. And every time we do this, the energy becomes unrecognizable. When energy is moving, it can be recognized and felt as anger or joy or sadness. When we stop the movement, the energy freezes and becomes unrecognizable. You call it numbness or blankness, frozenness. And this subtle experience of being numb or frozen is outside of our perception. It becomes hidden from us. So we have these places in our nervous system that are actively storing energy in a frozen, solidified form. This is how we stop time. This is the mechanism through which life protects us from overwhelming experience. This is trauma and our response to it. So as we are sitting here, allowing life to move through us, as we're allowing time to pass, as we sit here right now, we create a very simple, slow life process, meaning I'm not doing anything, it's not loud in my environment. Life is going slowly. It's not overwhelming to be here right now. And when my body is ready, when my nervous system is ready, it will start to bring up the past. Because I have, if I do have, especially if I practice, but because I have excess capacity now, because I'm not being taxed by an overwhelming experience, the body will start to self-generate unprocessed, frozen pockets of energy. It will bring up the past so that I can process it now. We just take a moment just to digest what I've said. Our body stops time by restricting the movement of energy, by contracting. And in these places in myself, I go numb or blank. I forget about them. And just notice how it feels when I say that. And as I sit here in meditation, I create an excess of capacity. I'm going slow. I'm relaxed. I'm not being taxed by the present moment. I have extra resources right now. And in the beauty of this system, in the intelligence of my body and nervous system, I will start to reconnect with these frozen pockets. I will reconnect with the past so that it can be processed, so that it can move again. So this reconnection process will happen in reverse often. First, I will become aware of my numbness or my frozenness and my tension. I feel this as sensation. I inquire into the emotions associated with this. I'm feeling more and more into what was previously hidden from me. And as I do, I begin to feel movement. I feel the past come to life through me. So anything in my life that I have not yet felt, that has not yet had a chance to complete its movement, will come to life. Which means that if a frozen pocket of energy that is from when I was 5 years old comes to life, I will feel 5. If a frozen pocket of energy comes to life from the time I was 15, I will feel just like I did when I was 15. Energy in my nervous system doesn't age. It remains in the exact state it was in when I froze it. So life is perfect. Life is good. The system of consciousness is natural and effortless. And yet, it is inherently overwhelming. And much of the problems that we experience as human beings is not due to what happens. It's due to the overwhelming nature of what we experience. The places that we are blocked, the places where we don't live up to our highest potential, are not so much because of what happened to us, but because of our inability to process what has happened to us. Those experiences that we were overwhelmed by are frozen in us, in these pockets or fragments of frozen time, frozen energy. So when these pockets come up, it's because we have an excess of capacity. And when these pockets come up, it's because of the health of our nervous system. It's life-affirming to get triggered. It's life-affirming to have the past surface in you. It's a health response. And what the nervous system is trying to do, its mission, is to complete, to digest your life experience. Life is not trying to make you better or different than you are. Life wants you to be exactly the way you are. But to have you be your most natural and complete self, to have you be the highest potential of who you were meant to be, who you were created to be, life is going to need to digest all of the life experiences that you've had up until now. This is what makes you wise. This is what makes you grown up. This is what makes you mature. And ultimately, this is what makes you awake. This is what makes you feel yourself as a fluid, living field of energy. So we take some other moments. We take some more moments to let time pass by. I notice how my words affect me and the energy of my body. I notice where there's tension. I notice the places that feel more alive and the places that feel less alive. And I'm learning to stay with my body, to stay present to how I feel. In doing so, I'm empowering the body to digest the frozen past. Or you could say, I'm empowering the body to let go of the past. Letting go of the past doesn't mean that it goes away from us. Letting go of the past means it gets to move through us. We get to feel the past. It's the process of feeling things as they are or as they were that has them move. So often when we want to let go of the past, that means that we don't want to experience it anymore. And that's natural. If the past was overwhelming, it makes perfect sense that you'd have resistance to experiencing it again. Meditation and spiritual practice is much about creating the capacity that you need so that you can feel what you couldn't feel previous to now, what was previously overwhelming. Again, we just pause to see, how does this resonate with you in the sensations of your body, in the emotion of your body, in the way you hold yourself physically, in your mental experience? And whatever you are experiencing, you notice that you're aware. Whatever the state of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations, pleasant or unpleasant, overwhelming or tolerable, awareness is at peace. I shift my focus to the space, to the awake space of awareness. This is, after all, the space that all of this energy will be moving through. By shifting my focus to awareness, I'm making space for the past. I'm making space for all of life to move. This is part of the creation of capacity. I keep saying I'm going to make a meditation about relational practice, about connection. And I will get to that. This is a big part of both healing from trauma, letting go of the past, and creating the capacity that allows us to be with what was previously overwhelming. I think that'll be my next video, my next recording. But for now, we develop a capacity to recognize time as a flow of energy. And the past, the stored past, as energy which we have stopped from moving, which we have contracted around. And in the support of all of our highest potential, may we all learn to process the past. May we all catch up to the present moment and be supported to live integrated and whole.